Hello, this is Benitomo Kamimura from aps Academy. The purpose of this video is to help you learn how to read out loud. Let's get started. 幼年期と青年期の概念の誕生 Today, we believe that essential aspects of character are formed in childhood and adolescence. We understand the young have different needs and experience the world differently from adults. We can even see that adults themselves have been influenced by a modern emphasis on youth. However, historically, this wasn't always so. The development of modern industrial societies has brought about a fundamental change in ideas of childhood and youth. As the historian Felipe Arias has pointed out, modern attitudes towards childhood and youth stand in contrast to views of the young in earlier periods. Arias has noted that many Europeans in the Middle Ages did not know when they were born or how old they actually were. The idea that one becomes an adult when one turns a certain age, for example, on one's 20th birthday, did not exist. Thus, the difference between childhood and adulthood was not clear, and children were often treated in the same way as adults. In medieval France, few children went to school, and 6-year-olds worked in the fields alongside their elders. Arias even suggests that the concept of childhood itself did not exist in the Middle Ages. How did modern perceptions of childhood and youth develop? One important factor was the growth of trade and the rise of merchant cities, as happened in Renaissance Italy. The importance of providing the young with the skills necessary for trade was recognized by cities like Venice and Florence, which set up schools to teach reading, writing, and mathematics. As European nation-states emerged in the 17th century, the need for government official tax collectors, record keepers, and administrators expanded. In France, under Louis XIV, for example, increasing numbers of young people studied in the many academies created to meet this demand. The trend towards more education continued into the 18th century. By the late 18th century, most children were going to school and spending more time apart from adults. The increasing numbers of students receiving education brought about another important change of attitude. 18th century thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau believed children should be allowed to develop according to their individual abilities and not be overly disciplined. Followers of Rousseau, like Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi, stressed the need for play if children were to grow into healthy adults. This emphasis on the needs of children led in turn to further changes. By the middle of the 19th century, industrial societies began passing laws to end child labor. A final factor has been the rise of youth culture. The development of new technologies in the 20th century meant a need for greater skills and rapid growth of secondary and higher education. By 1930, a majority of teenagers in America were enrolled in high school. By 1960, more than 40% of American high school graduates were going on to university. As the time between childhood and adulthood became longer, psychologists emphasized the importance of adolescence, a period when individuals are most open to the world and make crucial decisions about their futures. But as the young spend more time with their peers, youth develop a culture, music, fashion, even language, independent of adult society. Present-day ideas about childhood and youth have undoubtedly had an effect on adults. Movies, television, and music are increasingly aimed at the young and have influenced society as a whole. Many adults imitate the young. They wear clothing, jeans, and t-shirts associated with youth and try to keep their youthful looks. Adults have become like adolescents in another way. While technological changes create new products and jobs, this process also means that skills which adults have learned may become out of date. Adults can find themselves in the same position as adolescents. They must be able to make decisions about their futures, learn new skills, or start new jobs. Attitudes associated with adolescence, such as a willingness to explore new options, are significantly common among adults. How did you do? This is it for today. See you next time.